Hi, I'm Paul Partridge with Remax Crosstown Realty and the Western Rental Real Estate team. And today we're going to talk about the biggest shifts that are happening in Ontario real estate right now. Inventory is rising faster than demand, and honestly, this is changing the entire balance of power in the market. For the first time in years, we now see that buyers in many parts of Ontario have leverage in this market. It's not really about more listings, but instead, it's more about the sales to new listing ratio. That determines the type of market that we're in. And today, I'm going to explain what I mean. Before I continue, I invite you to support the channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons, and maybe even turn on your notifications so that you can stay informed on what's really happening in the Ontario real estate market. So let's jump in. Listings are increasing much faster than the number of active buyers entering the market, and that means supply is growing, while demand is slowing down. And whenever that happens in real estate, that naturally puts downward pressure on pricing. So the best indicators of what type of market that we're operating in is the sales to new listing ratio. This is measured by taking the number of sales in any given month and divided by the number of new listings in that same month. Here's a picture of March sales to new listings going back to 2019. The dark column is the number of sales in March in any given year, and the light column is the number of new listings in that same month. Now, if a higher number of listings alone would influence pricing, then 2021 should have been a buyer's market. The line measures the sales to new listing ratio in a percentage. And that is the important statistic here. The statistic directly influences the type of market that you're in. So if you're above 50, you're in a seller's market. Just check out 2021. We had a sales to new listing ratio of 70%. And I can tell you that in October that same year, that sales to new listing ratio reached 83%. And that was chaos. Now, if you see the line sitting in the yellow section, that means that we're in the 40 to 50% range. This is what most people consider a balanced market. That indicates that about half of the new listings that come on the market sell in that same month. Now, anything below the 40% is considered to be a buyer's market, and that's when supply far outreaches demand. So in 2025, we've seen a sales to new listing ratio that hit its lowest point at just over 29%. And that was caused by a pile of mortgage renewals and people finding themselves in situations that they couldn't afford their homes. And also the number of condos that hit the market last year skyrocketed. Now in 2026, sales are very similar to what they were in 2025. But there are less people listing their homes now. So not as much inventory, meaning your sales to new listing ratio has improved and is moving back towards a more balanced market. Buyers have options and sellers are coming to the realization that if they want to sell, they're going to have to be very flexible. So for buyers, you can negotiate and you can wait. And you can compare properties instead of rushing into unconditional offers. Yes, higher interest rates have reduced affordability, and many buyers have become more price sensitive. At the same time, more homeowners are deciding to list. So again, inventory is higher than demand. And we're seeing longer days on market, more negotiations, price reductions, less bidding wars, and in fact, many buyers are not even engaging in home sales if they see that sellers are holding out for offers or a presentation date. The days of simply putting a sign on the lot and expecting 10 or more offers are long gone for many Ontario markets. Now, another area where inventory growth is becoming noticeable is recreational and cottage markets. During COVID, cottage country absolutely exploded. People were buying vacation properties because they wanted to escape. They wanted privacy, remote work flexibility, lifestyle changes. Now we're seeing that go completely the other way. Certainly, higher borrowing costs have helped drive cottage prices down, but the biggest hit has come because many companies are asking people to come back to work and work in the office. So what does all this mean moving forward? Well, for buyers, you have more selection, more negotiating power, and more time to make informed decisions. For sellers, pricing strategy matters more than ever. The market is becoming increasingly competitive. Homes that are overpriced, well, they're going to sit for a long time. Homes that are poorly marketed are going to struggle. And buyers are extremely educated right now. The big takeaways here is this. Ontario real estate has shifted from emotionally driven selling market to a buyer-favored market. Inventory is rising, buyers are cautious, and that's changing how real estate transactions happen across the province. The question now becomes, how far does inventory continue to rise through 2026? And that's going to be the biggest factor determining where prices go next. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Ontario or anywhere in Ontario, feel free to reach out to me at partridgeproperties.ca. Just book a 20-minute call with me by phone or by Zoom. I'm happy to have a conversation about your specific situation and what strategy makes the most sense in today's market. Lastly, I invite you to share this video with anyone that you feel would benefit from what we've been talking about today. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.